Hey, Grande Alive, it's Will here, and I am here with Kiyomi Koike.
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 You did well, you did well.
I tried so hard. I am here with Kiyomi Koike, who is we're going to sample some of her teas, and she is from Enterprise, Oregon, and she owns, what's your business name?
Samey Tea.
Samey Tea, and they are sold through Nature's Pantry over here on the Adams Avenue side of Grande, and we're going to try some of her teas today. So first of all, you were telling me a little bit about how these teas are made and prepared, which is different. Okay. These are prepared differently than regular tea for a very specific reason that you said.
Right, okay. So we specialize in powdered green tea, and the green tea is ground up into the fine powder form. So you are drinking not the juice from the tea leaves, but you are drinking entire tea leaf. So it's like you are eating whole spinach rather than you are drinking the green juice squeezed out of the spinach. So you can imagine the nutrition level is totally
a lot higher.
Yes.
Now, some people would say that eating raw spinach is disgusting, but I personally am not one of them. But are these teas, I haven't tasted any of them yet, are these teas going to have a good flavor to go with the nutrition?
Well, so we realize green tea flavor is pretty exotic to American people. So we have straight green tea, of course, but also we have lemon flavor, mint, ginger, rosehip, and also we have green tea powder with guarana and ginseng for the people who love to enjoy the higher energy.
All right, so let's taste a couple. So which one am I tasting first?
Okay, well, let's go with the straight original
green tea. All right, starting me off easy here.
So,
all right.
So as you can see, the color of the tea is pretty green.
I don't know if they can see that.
Green tea. Yeah, it's not the yellow. It's not the watery color. It's a real green.
All right.
Yeah.
It definitely has sort of a little bit of a sharper taste than a lot of like the Lipton green teas that you'll get like at the store or something like that. Yeah. So take the rest of it.
And because it's powder form, you don't have to make it into tea form to get the antioxidants from green tea.
It tastes like something. I'm trying to put my finger on it, and it's not chicken. It doesn't taste like chicken. There's something that it tastes like. I can't.
It's pretty earthy.
It's very earthy,
yes,
yeah. But I mean, I think that most people get used to that. It's kind of like when you start eating like real foods as opposed to like processed foods. It takes you a little while to get there.
Yes.
But once you get used to it, so much better.
The reality is the taste of the good food tastes actually bitter because antioxidants, generally speaking, is bitter. But this green tea is ground fine powder form, and it's really small, like 20 micron size. Okay, when the powder is that small, the pectin is covered around the entire the small powder, each one of them. So actually you are not really tasting the bitter good nutrition, rather than that, more mild.
Yeah. So when you're drinking this, it's a little bit more bitter.
Right.
But that's because you're getting the antioxidants.
Right.
And
Yeah,
those
it's
things.
stronger. Yeah. And actually, if you are steeping the tea bag tea for a long time, sometimes you taste that sharp, bitey flavor. But from matcha, it's less likely to have that kind of bitter, bitey flavor. Rather than that, it's a little creamier on the tongue. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that is the difference.
All right. Well, let's taste the next one. So what do we got here?
Yep. So this one is, I believe, ginger matcha.
Oh, boy.
If you like ginger.
I'm not a big ginger fan in general, but we'll taste it just to be.
Okay.
And so if I don't like this, I promise it's not personal.
Okay.
It's not the tea.
Yeah, it's a strong ginger.
Yep, that's definitely ginger.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever had ginger. It was kind of an interesting story. We were at a Chinese restaurant, and I was sitting there at the table, and they brought me out my platter, and there was this pink substance on the corner of my police, and I was like, what is this pink substance? And I thought it was like a fish or something like that, and I had it, and I was like, that's not fish.
Right. Yeah. The ginger
yeah.
is good for you.
Is it?
It's
Well,
good for your digestive system.
I'm sure there's a lot of things that are good for me that I don't
Yeah.
eat.
So it's the combination of the real green tea and the real ginger. And after ginger matcha, this is the #1 popular item now. Out of the
Really?
flavored one. Yep.
Huh, interesting. Okay, well, all right, so moving on from the ginger, what do we got
Okay,
here?
so this one is mint. Mint with matcha. So mint flavor.
I like mint, so
okay,
this is
yeah,
good.
let's try.
It's hard for me to taste the mint. Like
Really?
I'm having a hard time tasting the mint.
Okay.
It's definitely, it still says that same sort of earthy taste as the green tea
Okay.
that I tasted at the beginning.
Okay.
And maybe it's just because I have ginger in my mouth still.
Oh, yeah,
but
that would be true.
it's definitely, I can't taste the mint as much.
Okay. Now, do you know? Okay, so green tea powder is called matcha.
Okay.
And matcha is the tea used for traditional Japanese tea ceremony. And so matcha is now popular out there because you eat whole tea leaves and nutrition level is much higher.
Yeah.
Antioxidant level is much higher than the tea bag tea. And so anyways, matcha latte is also popular, especially, like Starbucks, cafe.
Yeah.
And now this is what I have. So matcha with milk. So
Oh.
it's a matcha latte. Our website has the recipe. You can easily make matcha latte at
So it's
home.
like a tea latte, or it's a tea latte. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly,
a tea latte.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we should have stirred one
Ooh,
again.
I like that
Oh,
though.
good,
No, I
great.
like that. It's got a nice creaminess to it
Yes.
that kind of blends out that earthy taste that you have.
Right.
So it kind of equalizes out that that really raw organic, which isn't bad, but it gives it sort of a more whole
Exactly.
flavor. And I'm sure that I think they have some local milks here, if I'm recalling correctly too, that
Oh,
you
that
can
would
put
be
in here.
really
And
well. Yeah.
that's really good. I like that a lot.
Great, awesome, yeah. So matcha latte is easy to make at home, and you can buy the matcha powder here at the Nature's Pantry, and yeah, it's easy to make, more economical.
Very cool.
And
very
fresh.
cool.
And this one is ginger with milk.
Okay.
You may not like it, okay, but this one is mint matcha with milk. So
Okay, let me
mint
try
matcha
that one.
latte, yeah.
Mix it up a little bit here. Gotta shake your tea. It's like those A1 bottles. Shake before using, or what I don't know. It's like
Right.
shake, use it.
And build up the expectation.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta
Enjoy
dance
the
a little
moment,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy relaxing time.
I like that one. Ooh, I like that one. I like that one a lot. I can taste the mint more in that one. I think that was what it was. Is I just hadn't gotten
Right
that
after the
ginger out of my
ginger, I
mouth,
think
so I can
so.
taste the mint in this one. I really like the milk ones.
Great.
The ones that combine the
Awesome.
tea and the milk. And it's interesting because from what I've heard, it's much more of a British thing to combine your tea and milk. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's an Eastern thing as well, but you generally don't have a lot of Americans that combine their tea with milk. Which is interesting, because everyone loves coffee or milk in their coffee, or crappy creamer that you buy, at Walmart or whatever, But everyone, but when you if you were to tell an American, put milk in your tea, they'd be like, what
It's
are you
not
talking
necessarily just American or British. Actually, I'm from Japan, and if you go to Japan, you see everything with green tea, including, of course, ice cream.
about? Really?
And the latte is popular there too.
Huh.
Yes, so
Green tea ice cream.
green tea
huh?
ice cream. Yeah.
I might have to get some of that.
Yes, and actually I made a sample for today, so later on I'll bring it
very
home for you.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting some green tea ice cream.
Yeah.
This is
And
going to be excellent.
Today's a lucky day because I used the mint matcha to make ice cream.
Not ginger. Yes.
Right.
All right. So what do we got going on
Okay.
here?
Now you said you are familiar with rooibos tea.
Yes.
And rooibos tea with chai spice mixed up. So this is actually rooibos matcha in the powder form with chai spices. So you are drinking whole tea leaves again. And please enjoy. This is just straight rooibos chai
Okay, here we
tea.
go.
No, actually, I added a little bit of agave for this one.
Oh, I love chai and I love rooibos. And I can taste the agave in there.
And caffeine free.
Which is good because I've already had coffee, and when I have coffee, I have way too much energy for everyone in the
Right.
world.
And when you like to
I like
relax
that.
and enjoy, usually it's the kind of late in the evening, and you don't want to have caffeine. And then what can we have? And
I know, I always
caffeine-free.
have that problem. Like, I have a really hard, my big thing is I can't drink caffeinated, so I always drink decaf. So like, I do a show over at the studio called Coffee with Will, and nobody ever knows that I'm drinking decaf because, I have so much, generally have a lot of energy, but I can't do the caffeine thing just period because I have way too much energy to begin with. So this is nice
naturally
because
caffeine free.
I can drink it at night. And I always have that problem too because I want coffee at night,
Right,
something
yeah.
warm. It's really the warmth that I want. I just want to feel the warmth inside of me.
Right.
I love the taste, but the warmth is really, so this is an alternative
Yes.
option.
Yes. And this one is made with milk.
So it's the same thing, but with
rooibos
milk.
chai latte.
Did you put a little agave in there?
A little bit, yeah.
Good. I think I like the one without milk on the rooibos and the chai just because I like chai and rooibos so
rooibos,
much
yes.
that I think the milk kind of takes away from that flavor,
Okay, yeah.
but it still gives it that nice creaminess that is,
If you like creaminess, yes, definitely.
and there's that agave. I got it. So tell me a little bit about now, do you create these teas?
Right.
Do you grind them? Do you do
Well,
all
actually,
of that?
grinding part is tricky. So I import the ground powder directly from Japan, and rooibos also was ground by the matcha grinder, the professional grinder in Japan. So I import them, and we mix with other ingredients in Enterprise, Oregon, and distribute.
Okay, interesting. So you bring the powders, the raw powders in, and then you mix them with other ingredients. So like what kind, like ginger or
The real ginger.
mint?
For ginger flavor, I use real ginger. For mint flavor, I use mint flavor, organic, and yeah.
So you just get the raw powder from
Yes,
Japan, and
that's
then
Mix
you
it.
mix it, and
Yes.
you kind of you give it some different variety and that
right,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
come up with the recipe.
Wow, that's very, very cool.
It's
Now,
fun.
are you selling this? Is La Grande the only place that you sell this, or you sell this all over Eastern Oregon? Or
We distribute to most of our grocery stores are located in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and north part of California,
Wow.
and some stores in New York.
wow, as far over
Yeah.
as New York.
Yeah.
Well, very, very cool. Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming and chatting with me. It's interesting. I was going to mention this before. Japanese tea ceremonies are a really interesting experience that not many people over here have ever experienced. I got the opportunity to see one being set up. I didn't get a chance to be a part of it, because we ended up having to go. We went to where was it? Hawaii, where there's a really, really big Asian culture mixing with the Western culture, which is pretty cool. But a tea ceremony, from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, is a very, very ancient practice that is heavily associated with the Buddhist religion
Yes,
and
that's right.
the sort of the meditation and
Yes.
that aspect of it.
That's right.
And it's from what I saw, it was very, very meditative and very, very, and it's very, very. It's very different from a lot of the experiences that we have in the West here, because
Right.
everything's so much more fast-paced over here.
Yeah.
So I think that it would be a really interesting experience to actually be a part of it. And they had it in this little house. It was specifically for tea
Right, yeah.
ceremonies. That was
Yeah,
all it was.
exactly.
People would get together. It was like a Bible study or a church or whatever. They would get together and they would do tea ceremonies every week.
Yep.
and I thought it was very interesting, and it was very.
You're right about that. Yes.
Yeah. So have you gotten a chance to do a lot of any tea ceremonies?
Well, yeah. As a young female, I took several weeks of the tea ceremony lessons. Anyway, you mentioned a good point. So tea ceremony was established as part of Buddhism, especially Zen Buddhism, and those tea ceremonies were conducted for monks and a special class, especially for samurai class. So monks, for meditation purpose, and also for samurai, as you can imagine, they would love to enjoy the steady energy, not really caffeine high and caffeine low, that kind of energy, steady energy. And the green tea naturally provides caffeine, not as high as coffee, but caffeine is there. For example, matcha green tea powder provides you 2/3 of the regular caffeine. But at the same time, green tea naturally contains natural relaxant called L-theanine, and that counteract against the caffeine effect. So consequently, what you get from green tea is calm alertness. You are really alert, but at the same time, you're relaxed. So that energy keeps going steady. Yeah. Yeah, so.
Which is really nice, as opposed to getting these crazy caffeine highs and then crashing about 5 p.m. When you've gotten about 4 hours of sleep, and then you're running off of coffee, and then you just
right, exactly. So a lot of people are using matcha to get away from coffee. Maybe they enjoy a good cup of coffee the first thing in the morning, but the rest of the day they enjoy matcha, and that's a perfect drink. And you can enjoy as straight or with milk, and enjoy as a latte, like a treat. It's a perfect drink.
Well, I will have to buy some matcha tea from you today and use it before my morning meditation sometime.
Oh, wonderful, great, yeah. Weekend ritual, that would be wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all these with me. Thanks, Grande Alive. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking with some more local vendors and some of the staff here at Nature's Pantry for the rest of the day. And so just stay tuned, and we'll be back here in a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you. Oh, I got to stop it here. Hold on for a second.
Oh, okay. It's not done yet.
This thing, I have to,
You're going to edit, right?
Of course, absolutely, absolutely. No, that was great. Oh my gosh, this is really, really, really cool.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is interesting.
I can keep talking like for a couple more hours. But, I
know, and that's the thing.
Like that small tea house you mentioned. Okay, why it's so small and why the entrance is so small? Because the tea ceremony philosophy is once people are in the tea room, everybody's equal. So samurai had to take off all the swords. Everybody has just nothing. Yeah. So
that's really really cool.
Tea is pretty cool.
There was a book that I saw a couple weeks ago called The Art of Tea Making, and I almost bought it. And it was really really cool, and it just talked about the water that you use, the tea that you use, the different cups, and because there is an art to, because even like the water that you use really affects the tea. And so I almost bought it. Didn't have the money to buy it at that point, but I almost bought it. And cups, yes.
And the tea kettle.
So are you really big into like making different teas and and doing art teas and that kind of thing?
Well, I enjoy the learning, but actually as a reality, I have 2 teenagers and business and a husband who is the 3rd kid for me.
So you have a lot of obligations.
Maybe after the kids are gone, I'll enjoy those. Yeah.
How old are they?
They are, the oldest one is senior, and the younger one is sophomore, so a couple more years for me.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, my parents are empty nesters now. I'm old. I'm gone, and my sister's gone, and so they're both like oh, I'm ready to be done here. Like they're like, okay, now we have time. My mom's like, oh, I really want to. My mom's goal is to hike the Pacific Crest Trail now. Now that we're, you know, she just retired a couple weeks ago, so she's got all sorts of fun time on her hands.
Oh, good. Yeah. She deserves it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Will.
And thank you for coming and sharing.
You're
And I will
welcome. Thank you.
probably actually come over and get some tea from you.
Okay, thank you.
No, oh, watch out.